Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War Soulstorm cast this side of East Yorkshire. And today we've got a 1 versus 1 on Blood River. Playing on southern side as the Eldar, we've got MADlWarden. Playing on northern side as the Necrons, we've got Eversor. Eversor is going to be opening with a fistful of Builder Scarabs, triple Necron Warriors, triple Plasma Generators and a Gauss Turret. Whereas MADlWarden is going to go for a couple of Guardian Squads, Fleet of Foot Research, Plasma Generator and a Aspect Portal. Just war in heaven all over again, the Eldar socking it out with the Necrons, and I must say the Necrons probably aren't feeling all that confident in this matchup, as the Eldar have got so many blooming tools against them. And what you've got I assume you're going to go for some sort of double Dark Reaper nonsense, as that is the way forward. There we go, the first squad is already being built up. And it's quite difficult for the Necrons to deal with. I mean, Dark Reapers, amazing at killing heavy infantry. Necron Warriors can't quite keep up with them. And fair play, you might be able to get some flayed ones once you've built up that summoning court, wherever you built it up eventually. But they, Fleet of Foot, you just run away from them. Might be able to build up some Wraiths, but then Fleet of Foot away from the Wraiths. I mean, yeah, fair play, the Wraiths can keep on top of them. But, you've got listing posts that you can upgrade with shooter bits. Just run them around these places, and eventually you're going to snag them. I've also got some deadly things with their Burn Singers in the form of the Wraith Tome things. They'll be able to plop on top of the Necron Monolith, preventing them from building up anything, which is a huge issue for them. So definitely going to be interesting to see how Eversor is able to pull it out the bag here. And one advantage that they have is that if they make lots of engagements happen on the river, the Necrons don't suffer any negative cover debuffs. So that might be a thing for them to keep in mind. We shall see. We do see this wonderful Ghost Turret being placed in between this trifecta of strategic points. And also if we see the obelisks being upgraded, even if you bring some Dark Reapers in either side, you blast them up, and that does some damage that you can't really run away from damage that's already been done to you. There we are seeing a fortified obelisk. Well, the Necron Warriors are just going to chill out in this nice little safe space that they have made. Dark Reapers coming on the northern side, or the northern left-hand side, for the Relic. Oh no, not going to go for the Relic. They are going to be moving in tandem with a second squad of Dark Reapers to cause some mischief and mayhem for these Builder Scarabs. Going to try and get a decap in there before they're able to build up a obelisk. Necron Warriors thinking about coming on in, but they're not going to quite move all the way in there. Necron Warriors will be able to beat these guys in a melee engagement. It's just physically getting to them, that's the problem. So they'll fall back a little bit into the defensive range of the Ghost Turret. It's not the end of the world. The Necrons don't have access to this fourth obelisk, as 3 obelisks is just fine for tier 1 and tier 2, I reckon. But definitely don't want to give the Eldar any extra points. So I want to make sure that they've at least put a little bit of pressure on one of these relics here, just to prevent the additional economy going towards those filthy space elves and stuff. Summoning Core is being built up. And yeah, probably Wraiths or Flayed Ones would be the ticket here if they want to start putting pressure on things. If anything, just to move these guys back, just to keep them moving, potentially a huge blast from the obelisk there. And does a fair bit of damage. I mean, what is that? That's like a 25% from maximum health. Not a terrible shout at all, considering that they don't have much health to begin with. There's that Wraith Tome. So where's the builders? Well, there's only 2 at the moment. They're not being too aggressive with it, but there is potential for them to snake their way inside the base and just basically spaff all over the Necron Monolith, which is not going to do anyone any huge flavours. Those guys attempting to sneak around the side. Very, very interesting. But sadly, there's a Guardian Squad there, and already a Listing Shrine is being placed on there. Maybe not to build up, but just to at least prevent anyone from getting any decaps. Now I've got double Necron Warriors slowly but surely making their way on over. And one singular squad of Dark Reapers on their own isn't going to be fighting these guys off. They also have not, for whatever reason, gone for a Dark Reaper Exarch, which is kind of what I thought would happen, as Dark Reaper Exarch is able to increase the overall DPS of each individual model. You normally see them go for the Exarch before actually going for additional models, but I suppose that saves on the green money, which allows them to take up a little bit quicker. Here comes a Farseer, AoE damage. I was popping a guide on top of that Dark Reaper squad. Go on, Necrons, just get a little bit closer for melee damage. There we go. Turn that squad up. And another squad is coming in. Could have done with saving that guide on these guys, to be fair, that are farther away from the melee combat, but that's okay. As long as you win the combat, that's the main thing. And bonusing it, teleporting inside the base, does manage to sing some cobwebs on top of that Necron Monolith, but they have managed to get their Necron Lord out just in the nick of time, and that Burnsinger will be sent straight to the Infinity Circuit. Been dragged kicking and screaming into his or her Soulstone. And the obelisk is now being put under pressure from the Dark Reapers. While they don't do any anti-building damage, the fact that they've got such a high firing rate, they can definitely do a big bad of business to the obelisk if left to their own devices. Necron Lord umming and ahhing about what he should do. Probably wait for those Necron warriors to get within firing range and then teleport. There we go. Love that thing. Also one-bow comboing with the obelisk there. Mighty fine stuff. And one squad of Dark Reapers is looking less for wear, to be fair. Although Mind Wall going on top of that Necron Lord. Unable to teleport out of the influence range of that. So he's going to have to take the whole load of damage straight on there. One Dark Reaper goes down. And they do cost 70 blue to reinforce, so very expensive to replace. Necron Warriors also have now got their disruption field upgrade. And again, another advantage that the Necrons have in a firefighting perspective is that when they move, their moving accuracy is very high. I don't think it's like a, you know, I used to think that there was a case where they'd take no, or what's called accuracy reduction while on the move. Well, I do think they take a little one, but it's not a huge one in comparison to other factions. The Dark Reapers do have to stand perfectly still while firing, so that might be a potential game changer if they're able to position themselves just nicely. Farseer on more or less full health at the moment, and the current economies, and well, tech is currently in tier 2 for the Eldar, 98 and 30, compared to 75% and 70, so fairly decent economies all the way around. And yeah, tier 2 for the Eldar. Necrons not even halfway there just yet, so we'll need to hold back just a little bit. I assume support portal. Oh no, oh right, Howling Banshees, interesting. I mean, these guys do out-damage the Necron Warriors. You do a little bit. Is this just to hold these guys back? I can't imagine it would. They'd probably just walk by them and ignore them completely. But you've got to massively respect it. And I missed a land shot of your poor map awareness. There's stuff going on down here. Bunsinger gets taken down. There's another squad of Dark Reapers going toe-to-toe to the Necron Warriors. And they will win this firefight all day long. We do have one chap just fixing himself up. Nice and proper. That does give the Necrons a little bit more survivability. In the grand scheme of things, here come the Howling Banshees, smacking around the Necron Warriors. Yeah, you do got to appreciate when a Eldar player decides to throw these ladies in. Don't get to see them nearly enough, but fantastic models, fantastic combat capabilities. Oh, I should have really upgraded the graphics for this game. Last one I did this week was was it a 2v2 or 3v3 unification? Or was it something like that? I can't quite remember. I had to load the graphics for it. I've completely forgot to redo them. But build scouts are dead. But the listing post over here has yet to be built up, so Necrons are at least denying this extra form of resources for the Eldar. Also, the Ghosts are able to fire a little bit towards these Howling Banshees. Big blast from the Obelisk. Once again, very nicely done. Howling Banshees with their power swords, striking down the Obelisk before then pressing on towards the Necron Lord. We are seeing a Wraith, which should help keep these Dark Reapers on the move. Necron Warriors are abandoning their fight. Oh no, they're not abandoning it, it's just slow but surely duking it out. Fair enough, but more Necron Warriors coming in for support. First Wraith of the game, barreling towards the firing lines of the Eldar. And not messing around. Going to completely ignore those Howling Banshees. They'll come back and see if they can send him off. Now, if the Farseer Mind Wars the Wraith, is the Wraith able to cancel that out by using his phase shift? Or is it because it's an ability that happens before the phase shift it carries on? Well, I mean, we might see it, we might not. I assume the phase shift cancels it out. A lovely, deathly green glow on that Wraith there. And the Necrons are amassing in number. I would assume, yeah, there we go, support portal. Yeah, I would assume that there would have been a, not a Falcon Grav, yeah, Falcon Grav tank. No, not Falcon. The one that transports people around, I always forget what it's called. But you tend to see Eldar people do that. As by now, the Necron Lord normally has his Forbidden Archive on the go. And it's always important to be able to reposition your Dark Reapers with blistering speed. It's easier to do that rather than microing all the fleet of foot stuff. The Wraith keeping these guys all occupied. Necron Warriors a little bit slow on the get-go, but will now start following up. Support portal has been finished. And over on this side, the Howling Banshees reclaiming their relic. Trying to push on this side. Oh, have you got 2 squads of Howling Banshees? Now, aren't you an interesting unit composition? Fair enough. I don't think 2 is necessary, but going to go in for some Wraith Lords potentially. For some added punching power. Also able to swap them out to Bright Lances should they need the vehicle and building damage. Then melee and long range working combined. We're going to try and flank the Dark Reapers, but the Howling Banshees stripping off from those Necron Warriors just to keep them safe. And there's lots of manoeuvrings going on from all these players here. Now got double Wraiths on the left-hand side. Farseer attempting to keep them occupied while the Wraith Lord goes in for a couple of punches. Necron Warriors won't be doing all that much against his vehicle armour, so actually that's not a bad, terrible shout. Yeah, very unusual. Not the standard unit composition you would see from the Eldar, but we'll absolutely take it. Now got a squad of Immortals from... oh, what's your name again? Let me click on yet. From Eversor, which will break down that Wraith Lord pretty darn quickly if they are not occupied by these Howling Banshees. Listing post has gone down. The Banshees on the right-hand side streamlining themselves towards the base, but they've all teleported back home, which will give the Eldar a moment of reprieve to build back up their listening shrine. Howling Banshees thinking about going inside the base, but that's just too much in the way of shenanigans for them to deal with. Looking at the economy is 91% and 100, compared to 85 and 40. That is not a pretty economy for 10 plus minutes. You are called a Falcon Grav Tank, I knew it! Mr. Landshot, be more confident in yourself. Even if you're wrong, just say it really confidently. No one will doubt you. That's how it works, right? The Wraith Lord is firing away. The Harlequin, if I can get my words out. Trying to go for that obelisk, but definitely wants to focus on these Immortals here, because they will absolutely rinse this Falcon Grav Tank with stuff. An ideal situation for them. They are going to fall back.
The troop is ready. The stage is set.
Necron Warriors now pushing on to the right, the left side, and also potentially the right-hand side of double Wraiths to be able to support them. I mean, this we've seen it, that the Howling Banshees and the Dark Reapers are able to quite handily take care of a singular squad of Necron Warriors. Over the Howling Banshees attempting to capture the critical location. Always very dangerous on Blood River. Very careful to avoid being caught in this long-range fire that they've got to run through. Thankfully, the Fleet of Foot does mitigate that somewhat. Also love the use of the Bone Sinkers to repair the Falcon Grav Tank. Now firing all sorts of stuff and shurikens inside this infantry position here. Howling Banshees using their Scream to attempt to break some morale, but doesn't quite exactly stop the Necrons from feeling all that fancy and fresh. Do kill a fair few models. Not many of them seem to be getting back up. Luckily for the Eldari here, Necron Lord comes in. He's got a mind war on top of him. He's at least tying up these Dark Reapers. One Wraith Lord goes down. Oh, we've got Wraith Lords and Wraiths. That's fun. It's a fun little bit of imagery right there. Now we've got a Destroyer floating on in. At the moment, without the... Oh, the Wraith Lords are going to go for a Bright Lance. So that will help them take care of that Destroyer. Could also do with maybe a squad of Fire Dragons, but that might be a bit of overkill, to be fair. Really hankering down these Howling Banshees. You've got to love it. Can the Mad Lad do it? That's the question. Howling Banshees forcing those Immortals back on home. Necron Lord's got no other option but to watch from a distance, as he is too far gone in the health department to be able to do anything. Not sure what these Dark Reapers are doing. A little bit of a misplay going on there. Rift's just chilling out on the backlands, ready to cause some problems. Necrons in the far distance, taking care of Listening Shrine on top of the relic. And there's just combat going everywhere. We've got Dark Reapers trying to punch this Wraith to death, while Howling Banshees chasing around the Destroyers. And one advantage, I suppose, of the Eldari have in this matchup, well, one of the many advantages, is that, I mean, these Destroyers, while they're able to pack quite the punch at range, they can be tied up in close combat, which is not ideal for them. There we go, set them on fire, that'll do it. That's one way to kill a Wraith. one single Howling Banshee left, but she has been brown-breaded. Now double Wraiths to tie up double all these Necro Warriors, but definitely got it. I mean, the Immortals are back. And it doesn't take very long for them to kill any kind of vehicle, to be honest. Now regaining some more Dark Reapers and some more Howling Banshees. You've charged those ladies in, tie these guys up, use the Wraith Lords to do the same with the Necron Warriors, and then bring in the Dark Reapers to mop up anything that remains standing. But you do need all those units available for you. Without the Eldar having multiple different squads of infantry and vehicles, combining their different types of firepower and focusing on particular targets, they do struggle a little bit in these large engagements. There we are, Howling Banshees keeping those Immortals on the move. The Wraith Lords now coming in. Dark Reapers, again, maybe moving just a little bit too close for comfort here. They kind of keep them at a distance just so they're able to fire down. Mind Wall going on the Wraith and really, really chunking itself down very quickly. Not sure if it's got its phase shift on. Doesn't quite manage to get it off, sadly. That would have been a major nuisance for the Eldar here. But Warden getting a little bit lucky. Got another squad of Howling Banshees fully reprised with as many models as they could fit inside them. Oh no, you've got 2 more that you could fit in. But 50 blue, that's as expensive as a Space Marine. And considering how fragile they are, be very careful, but able to speed on in. Screaming their heart and soul out of everything. But like a mighty glass cannon, do they shatter if they take up too much damage. Plenty of Billow Scavs to just get in their way, which is an interesting tactic. Now triple destroyers, dear oh dear. They're going to absolutely take these ladies to the cleaners, and to the cleaners they've gone. There was plenty of them at the beginning. Now their numbers are waxing and waning something profusely. Also got the Wraiths constantly just harassing and harrying these Dark Reapers. And even when phase shifted, able to finish off that kill there. Kind of quasi-dragging the Dark Reapers into the warp. Is that what a phase shift is? Or is a phase shift where you're just like a slight second out of time, either forwards or backwards in time? Kind of like Doctor in the TARDIS when he parks it. Maybe that's who the real Time Lords are. It's not about travelling backwards in time through a blue police box, but travelling forwards in time through sleeping. In which case, maybe we're all Necrons. In the grand scheme of things. Just, you know, maybe not like a poor man's Necrons here. Might not be able to travel too far forward in the future, but at least we're not riddled by cancer and all the other various diseases that they had while being alive. Either way, the Necrons once again taking out the listening shrine. Oh, the friend gets back up. I'll go and survive. Be a lad. Oh, dear, oh, dear. That's a sad time. A sad time for everyone. Double Wraith Lords still in the back lines, using their bright lances to try and stop these destroyers. But dear, oh dear. John Cena Beam preventing these Wraith Lords from doing anything. They don't benefit from the fleet of foot, so they can't get out of there as quickly. Also, has cut these Eldar forces in half. And good lord, just the sheer amount of Necrons. Wonderful use of the Tomb Spider on the back lines just to do some recycling. Making sure that the unending tide of metal and soulless abandon pushing on forward. Support portal is down. Trying to go for some more Howling Banshees. As much as I respect it, I think one squad would have been enough. One squad and maybe a couple more Dark Reapers. Using those Falcon grav tanks as is standard, but gotta appreciate it. Now these guys are backed against the river. Gonna try and reposition themselves, but a conga line of Necron warriors are causing them some issues of being alive. Eversor says GG. And what a GG that was, to be fair. Now, unconventional build orders have been seen. Don't think that the Eldar used as much of their advantages against the Necrons as possible. Could have done with some more Wraith Terms on top of the monolith there. But Necrons certainly using all their advantages to the best of their abilities. The fast manoeuvring Wraiths to keep the Dark Reapers on the go. Wonderful endgame use of the Tomb Spider to bolster their ranks. And yeah, and the Necron Lord being able to jump in and do what he can. Keeping those Dark Reapers feeling uncomfortable and such. And there we go. That is the game. So cheers, boys and girls, for watching at home. If you want to support the channel, have a look at the old Patreon. £1 a month gets you once a game a week. And there is also Discord, where Discord things happen. My name's been Slant Shark. Pleasure's always never short. Now, see you in a bit. Peace.